In this lesson, we'll cover what's new in Revit Structure 2016. Several new functions and functionalities have been added to Revit Structure 2016. Starting off, steel profiles. Here, basically, when you have a structural section category for structural columns and framing elements, we have new dimension parameters and columns for those actual elements, such as hot rolled steel section shape detail dimensions and also cold form steel section shape dimensions. Another enhancement is elevation parameters. Now, several things have been added in this case to improve annotation and scheduling. Primary to elevations at the top core, bottom, and reference level elevations for when you're creating beams, braces, structural floors, and foundation slabs. Another area of improvement was release and member forces. Basically, here you can specify member end forces for columns, beams, and braces. Another area is truss cord rotation. Here, you can specify whether truss cords rotate with the truss or stay aligned with the truss placement plane. Local coordinate systems was something as well that was enhanced, in this case allowing you to work with analytical loads. Specifically, let's say the LCS widget now displays on curved beams and arc walls. You can also place hosted loads oriented to the host LCS, the lightweight LCS, and that lightweight LCS widget displays on the element to show the load direction. Area loads is another area. Here, you can place hosted area loads on the surface of an arc wall. You can also apply projected surface loads. Select the projected surface load parameter, and you can correctly scale the loads to a projection angle value. Another enhancement area is rebar display performance. Now, to improve the performance so views open and update faster, Revit generates the reinforcement only for what is visible on the screen. In addition to that, the reinforcement appears very small on the screen and is displayed as a simplified lines, regardless of what detail level you're actually looking at. Now, rebar placement, several things that were enhanced in this area. One is rebar offsets. You can specify the rebar constraints, the host end of an offset distance from the cover. Also, rebar constraints dialog. Now you can zoom, pan, and adjust your view without closing the dialog. And rebar rounding. Here you can specify the reinforcement rounding defaults. You can round to the nearest increment, the next highest increment, or even the lower increment. Now, rebar shapes in paths. Now again, for an improvement for reinforcement detailing on concrete, you can assign rebar shapes to the primary and alternating bars in a path reinforcement system. And the last area was rebar scheduling. Now, it's to improve rebar documentation. Now, you can include several things. For example, host marks now display the name of the structural element hosting the rebar. Host counts display the number of identical structural elements hosting the rebar. And also, quantity by element displays the calculated value of the total number of rebar per host.